Hey everybody, it's Liz, and I have some friends with me today. Very special friends. So, gird up your gonads, because this is about to get real. David, do you want to tell them why we don't say loins?
Loins has always been an awkward term, and like growing up in a religious family, we read gird up your loins in the scriptures a fair amount, and loins always made me feel a little awkward because I knew what they were, and I didn't like the idea of them being girded. So
it's kind of like the word moist,
right?
You know, like a lot of people understand.
And they like to describe it as something good, and no,
it doesn't sound
not good.
Moist is not good.
So this is my youngest brother David, and this is my youngest sister Erin, and they are coming into town to visit me because I have been a little bit down and depressed, and my mother kind of suggested that they come visit, but they reassured me that they're here because they want to be. So that's one thing with Graft versus Host that I think a lot of people deal with is the depression, and especially when I'm home alone by myself all day, I can kind of wallow in it. So it's always good to have people come to your rescue. So I thought we'd do a little Q&A. Rob, do you want to say hi?
To who?
The video.
No.
Okay. Anyway.
And he turned
working hard.
Yeah.
Somebody was shooting.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're gonna edit that out. And that too. or not.
Yeah,
you never know. I could just be lazy and leave everything in.
This
But
is real life.
This is real life.
Uncut.
True life. Okay, so I thought today it might be fun to do a Q&A, or we can just talk and yeah, you can get to know them, and maybe they'll ask some questions about Graft versus Host that I can answer that other people would be interested in. So, any questions?
You go first.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, Liz, we're starting off serious.
Okay, I'll be serious.
Okay, a lot of people understand what it means when you say, I have cancer. But I don't think a lot of people understand what it means when you say, I have Graft versus Host.
Yeah.
How would you explain to people who don't understand Graft versus Host how serious it is? Because people understand the gravity of cancer, but they don't understand the gravity of Graft versus Host.
Yeah. I'm actually getting very good at answering this question when people ask me if I still have the cancer. I explain that I'm in remission, which is good, but the cells that my other brother John gave me are attacking my own body. So it affects all the organs of the body, and it just makes it so that you're sick all of the time. I still go into the Cancer Institute often for treatments because if I left it untreated, I could potentially die. So yeah, it's just John's cells and my cells are not getting along. So yeah.
And how long will you be fighting Graft versus Host? Because cancer, you can beat it. You're in remission, right?
Yes.
But what about Graft versus Host?
Graft versus Host is not curable at this time. It's a lifelong disease. If I ever were to get rid of my Graft versus Host, the cancer would probably come back. So good news, bad news. You know, as long as I have Graft versus Host, I'm cancer free. Bad news, Graft versus Host sucks. Good question.
Oh, thanks.
Sometimes it can be kind of an awkward conversation with people when you frequently, your mood changes or you're not as social or available as you were in the past. How would you prefer that people approach you to ask you about what's going on and how you're doing, or to just address the 800-pound gorilla in the room that this is a lifelong thing? And there's like, how do you want people to approach you to see how you're doing?
I just like the direct approach where you ask how I'm doing, and I think the responsibility of those of us who have graft versus host is to not downplay it, which I do all the time. I say I'm fine.
Shocker.
I'm fine. Everything's okay. But in reality, if there are things that are bothering you, it's okay to share with other people. Let them know how you're doing. I think people are afraid to ask sometimes, especially when they know, like, just looking at me, you can tell that I'm still pretty sick. And I think people are afraid of what the answer might be, but don't be afraid to ask. It lets us know that you care.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else?
I have a question. What has your experience overall been like with healthcare, and what do you feel like could have helped you more throughout this process to make it more understandable and more bearable?
I think staying on top of all of the things that are affected by graft versus host. I'm not saying this because you're a PT, Dave, but I should have had physical therapy from the beginning. Just not only because it helps with the graft versus host, but also I think it would have helped with the loss of muscle that I had when I was sick in the hospital, undergoing chemo and all the other things. So I think physical therapy is really important. I think going to see your dentist is really important because the most common secondary cancer when you have graft versus host is oral cancer. So stay on top of that. Making sure that you go to all of your doctor's appointments and being part of the team, like speaking out and saying, this is what's working for me, this is what's not working for me, we need to find something else here, just being really open.
Yeah.
Good questions. Yeah.
It's your turn.
My turn?
Yes, you have to think of something.
I have to think of
I
something.
kind of put them on the spot, so
Yeah.
this is not fair of me to do, but whatevs.
Well, I know you've kind of talked a little bit about it in past videos and things like that, but I mean, obviously, you're the one fighting graft versus host, but you share your life with your girls and Rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is a good way to support the people that are supporting you?
Yeah. For Rowdy, I think it's really important that he gets time to himself. So, he likes to putter in the evenings or in the afternoons as it is today. But giving him time by himself to decompress. I also encourage him to go see a counselor. I've encouraged my girls to see a counselor. They're currently not seeing one, but
if you figure out how to get them to go, tell me, because
yeah.
some of my family could use some of that as well.
Counseling is amazing.
Yeah.
Counseling is good. Another way to support the girls is just make sure that you can go to all of their activities if you can. Being open and honest again with your family. I think that's probably the biggest one, but yeah, letting them have their own lives. But I don't know, trying to support them in what they're doing as well, give and take relationship.
Do you feel like they don't mind talking to people about what you're going through right now? I mean, is it safe to go to your girls and be like, what's going on with your mom?
Yeah, I think it is. They just don't know how to articulate what graft versus host is. So they keep telling people that I still have cancer, which isn't technically a lie. I still go to the Cancer Institute, like I said. So that's, I think, the easiest way for them to wrap their brains around what I'm going through. And on the same note, for the first couple of years, I tried to hide all the things I was going through from the girls. I didn't want them to be traumatized from it.
Right.
But I think that was a mistake because now that I'm 5.5 years out from my diagnosis, I think they feel more comfortable watching what I'm going through if I tell them outright what's happening. So,
like the why.
Yeah, the why, and they see the changes in me more than most people do. So, yeah.
Well, they've also matured through that entire time too. I mean, when this first happened, how old was Charlie?
I think she was like 9 and 11.
Right.
The girls.
And so the idea of understanding the gravity of the diagnosis itself, and then what came after,
Yeah.
probably pretty difficult for that age.
Yeah. Well, I think I've tortured them enough.
I did have one more question.
I have one more.
All right.
Oh,
And
okay.
so
Go.
I'll go
Okay.
first.
You asked.
I
We're
did.
here.
I'll go first.
We're not going to leave.
What
it,
are
you know.
some of the things that maybe the rest of us take for granted of the day to day that you struggle with?
Oh my
at this point in
goodness.
time?
I
Start in the morning.
Yeah, break down the day.
Okay.
I see your schedule over there. I know you have it
I
itemized.
know. Yes,
have you
I do.
shared your schedule?
I have.
That's awesome.
Earlier.
She's
Yeah.
got a great calendar.
Yes. So some of the things that I think everybody takes for granted is, and I'll start with bottom to the top, I cannot touch my toes right now. And my mobility, like just being able to move in certain ways. I can't bring my knee up to my chest. What else can I not do? Oh, stairs are terrible. I can do one flight of stairs going up, but no more. I get out of breath really easily. Like that's one thing that Graft versus Host really affects is your breathing. So I run out of breath faster. It makes it so that I can't sing, which is a total bummer for me. Let's see, what else? Walking, any sort of long distance, even walking from one end of a football field to another would make me winded. Let's see, what else? Oh, well, my hair sucks now that I've done with
different.
chemo. It is completely different, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, you didn't have any
Oops.
curls whatsoever beforehand.
No, I did not. Straight hair like Aaron. Yes, it's beautiful. What else do people take for granted? Oh, I can't stand for very long either. My back gets really, really sore. I've had my hips replaced, and
Right,
so
you had a vascular necrosis in your hips from the chemo, right?
yes, and from the prednisone.
Okay.
So people take for granted their bones and all of the things that they just have. I never thought walking would be hard for me. Like I was pretty in shape. I wasn't Aaron in shape, but I was pretty in shape before.
None of us are Aaron in shape.
Stop.
So this
stop it.
entire trip saved me from going on a hike with her, and I was not ready.
It
We were
was-
gonna go,
it was gonna
but
be
it's gonna be a
great.
struggle. Yeah.
So yes, just like the day-to-day stuff. When I can't reach something or I can't move as well, yeah, everything just hurts. So
I remember the first time I really understood how limited you were is our family when we sit down on a couch or something, we tend to like tuck our leg up underneath us and sit with our legs under us. And Liz looked at me from across the room and she said, I hate that you can sit like that.
yep,
Because I can't sit like that anymore.
nope,
And I realized what a simple thing that was.
yeah, just the way you sit. It's little things, really.
Like a hereditary habit.
Yes, it is.
Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I guess I'm not a Coons anymore.
Yo, you are.
I don't know. The flared nostrils still make it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's probably the highest prereq for the coons.
The nostrils together,
Yeah.
all three of us. Look out.
All right. You have
Okay,
one more question?
I do. I have one more question. So we've talked about how Graft versus Host has kind of limited and changed your life.
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that is a long term.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you done, or what do you try to do to help you get through every day, see the bright spots in your life and
Yeah.
the silver linings through all of the struggle?
Well, sometimes it's hard. Like right now, I don't have a whole lot that I think brightens my day. Don't make me cry. I cry in all of these.
I know.
Stop it.
We love her. She's amazing.
No, one thing that I notice helps that I haven't been doing is journaling. I also like to get caught up in what's going on with the girls and Rowdy. So keeping myself busy. Yeah, just little things. Again, I have hummingbird feeder outside my window, so I get to see hummingbirds, and that always makes me happy. And good food makes me happy. We just had a killer charcuterie board, and I said it right. Woo woo.
So bougie.
We are.
Bougie.
We're bougie.
I don't even know what that means. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I will make more videos. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Love how the